Ahmedabad branch repeated the history of winning the best branch and national level, and for members and student sections both. Under his creative and dynamic leadership, Ahmedabad branch did a lot of new initiatives. They have come up with a lot of new activities, a lot of new initiatives which was being taken, and Ahmedabad branch has set up a new record. So Harit was not only focusing on the technical side, he was also focusing on the society side, he was also focusing on another aspect. But yes, Ahmedabad branch also created a new record of the technical CPE hours, which was again a good record which was being set by Ahmedabad branch. So it was all under the leadership of Harit Dhariwal along with his team support. So let me welcome Harit Dhariwal as the guest of my Integrity the Accountants Talk show. Hi Harit, thank you so much for taking out time and coming on my show. I know you have a busy schedule and a lot of other works to do, but still you managed to take out the time and be the part of the show. So thank you so much for that.
No, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much, Lina, for inviting me today. Thank you.
Yeah. So Harit, definitely you don't need much of the introduction, but I have seen your journey. Like you are a partner in your CA firm, then you were a member in institute, right, for like 21, 22 term. And उस year के दौरान we have seen that there was a history which was repeated कि अहमदाबाद branch को सारे awards मिले थे. So best on the regional and the national level for student and members both, right? So that was something which has happened only twice. Like this was in the last year again. So first of all, you tell me how all this thing was like. कैसा रहा आपका ये journey, आपका ये experience कैसा था? So how was your experience being a chairman of the Ahmedabad branch of institute?
Okay, Lina. So I think yes, last 1 year was very exhilarating. I think I'll say it's a very exciting year. I can tell you that way because I was in this committee for the last 6 years.
Yes.
I had 2 elections to go through, and after that, in the last election when I won, I was chosen as a chairman in the third year, in the elected as a chairman.
Yeah.
Very exciting journey. Lot of challenges, and I've never thought that I'll become the chairman of the branch in at such a short time after getting over, as a elected member.
Yeah.
I earlier working with Vedanta Limited, and then in 2012 I came back to Ahmedabad from Mumbai.
Okay.
And
Okay.
4 years I was in Vedanta Limited, and after that I came to Ahmedabad. I joined my dad's firm, and now I'm into practice, full time practice, and
Yes.
institute was always a passion. I always wanted to serve to a profession. Always that was jazba hota hai, wapas give back to the profession. And I wanted
Exactly.
to contribute that, and I think 6 years I was there. So I had earlier been a secretary, treasurer, vice chairman twice, and then
Wow.
finally the chairman in the year 21-22. So it's a very good journey. And specifically talking about last year, I think last year was a very I can tell you challenging year
Yes.
because we had the second wave starting in the month of April, May, and June.
Exactly.
Then when things were settling down in the month of November, December, again January, February, we had another kind of a third wave,
Yeah.
which somehow disturbed all of us. So that was a very challenging time, but I think we had a very strong team, good support from members and students, so we could pull off a lot of events which maybe happened for the first time in the history of the branch and
Yes.
maybe at the history of ICI. So that was really well appreciated by all of us, and the journey was very good. And especially, I think I'll tell you a few initiatives on the COVID that we did as a
Yeah.
branch. That I think members should be aware of it. That apart from the vaccination drives, the medicine at doorstep, normally branches associated only for technical sessions. हमने
Exactly.
टेक्निकल सेशंस भी बहुत किए. हमने टोटल 1,40,000 प्लस सीपी आवर्स जनरेट किए, which
Wow.
is again a record in itself, like 212 CPE programs on technical front. So
Yes.
that was always taken care of. But apart from that, we did like the COVID activities, we did the Movement 73, a lot of things
Yeah.
were there which helped, connected the members and students in the tough
I think
times.
even CA marathon was something which happened for the first time, right?
Yes, so CA Marathon again with the concept of not only health in mind. I think that was the thing that brought all of us together. There were more than 700 chartered accountants and their family members participating in a marathon. Just
Yes.
imagine two roads being blocked for us as chartered accountants, and
Yes.
we are running and walking on that road. That feeling itself was very special. So marathon was very good. We had our Movement 73. I
Yes.
think perhaps I think most of the viewers will be knowing about that now. We had more than 4,000 participants from all across the country, and few even outside the country
Wow.
participating in the movement 73 for 73-80 days. So basically that was something which was done in the second wave of COVID,
Yes.
April, May and June. We did a lot of fitness activities, because क्या होता है normally fitness और CS को normally they don't link it together.
Don't link.
They कि हम लोग सिर्फ पढ़ते रहेंगे, but this was something which was required, because at that time, more than the technical sessions, I think fitness, the connectedness was
Important.
much more required, and
Yes.
that we could pull it off through this, and it was very well appreciated all across the country. We had 86 plus branches joining us in this movement, so it was a historic movement. And yes, so there are a lot of events like this we did in the year which were exceptional. I think we also did a special session on Bhagavad Gita. Now,
Yes.
management lessons from Bhagavad Gita. Now, that was something which was very, very useful for all of us. We always have Bhagavad Gita का एक मन में होता है कि यार ये खाली एक philosophical language पे ही है.
Philosophical
But what
language है, भगवान की भक्ति के लिए है. Those who are really to do this.
Yes, but we got a different side. We got the management lessons from it, and it was again very well appreciated by all the members and students. हमने in fact we did even plogging event. Now I think plogging, most of you might not have heard. It's a very good concept in US where it combined jogging with cleaning the streets. So the World Environment Day था 5th June को. We did this first ever plogging event. So there were more than 100 to 200 CAs. They were having that bags in their hands, and they were cleaning the roads, and they were walking across the streets of Ahmedabad. So that kind of events helps a lot in brand building. Now we as chartered accountants, if we do these kind of events which supports the society, I'm sure brand building पे बहुत अच्छा benefit अपने को सबको मिलता है.
Yes, what you said was right, क्योंकि definitely CAs को कहते हैं ना एक बहुत ही like कहते हैं ना maybe boring या not so creative, not so very enthusiastic community में माना जाता है. वैसे जहाँ पे टेक्निकल या एडवाइस होती है वहां पे ही सीए को याद किया जाता है. सो ये जो थोड़ा परसेप्शन है वो काफी चेंज हुआ, एंड लॉट ऑफ पीपल केम अप विद दिस. सो एक तो ये भी एक चैलेंज था सबसे बड़ा कि लोगों का थॉट प्रोसेस, स्पेशली सीए का थॉट प्रोसेस चेंज कराना, दैट लेट्स डू समथिंग ऑन दिस साइड. सो वो कैसे रहा, लाइक हाउ डिड यू गॉट इनटू दैट एरिया?
That, as you rightly mentioned, that was perhaps the biggest challenge. It is said that even the bravest, the strongest, the most imaginative person, cannot change the world if he follows the convention.
Yes.
If you keep on doing what is being done every year, you will not be able to do anything new.
Yes.
Especially events like Movement 73 or Marathon or Bhagavad Gita, these events were happening for the first time. So that mindset change was required. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of people who supported us that you should do this, because that is what's required as per the time.
Yes.
But even then, there were a few people who were against it. कि यार अभी fitness ही कहाँ जरूरत है, ये क्या जरूरत है? But we have both the sides, doing that.
कोविड था तो लोगों का तो कहते ना थॉट प्रोसेस भी काफी अलग हो चुका था. लेट्स नॉट गो, लाइक जितना हो सके उतना डिस्टेंस मेंटेन करे, ये सब में पार्टिसिपेट ना करे. सो कोविड वाज आल्सो वन ऑफ द मेजर रीजन इन impacting the thought.
Absolutely, but I think I'll tell you, the virtual thing was a blessing in disguise. हम लोग समझ रहे हैं कि it was we were all separated physically, but because of this virtual thing, we could connect so many members across the country. Now they are having their own cycling groups, own walking groups. They are still continuing their journey. So that connect that we had during the COVID times really helped each one of us. So I think events like Movement 73 or blogging or these kind of events really raised that awareness. Exactly. So that was also equally important that time. I think I would also like to mention one thing specifically. On the skills, normally chartered accountants हम जो बात करते हैं कि skills are very important. We had this special RRC on leadership skills. Now again, that was unheard of. एक special RRC, residential refresher course, leadership or negotiation or communication के ऊपर हो एक chartered accountants के लिए. It was again an unheard thing. We did it in Udaipur. Very good response we had, and that was again something which was out of the box, which really members liked it. So these kind of events, members appreciated that.
So Harit, as you said about your experience, so you were working in a corporate, then definitely you were into practice, and your experience as a member of institute, as a chairman of institute. So इन तीनों में से सबसे ज्यादा फेज आपने कौन सा एंजॉय किया, या सबसे ज्यादा लर्निंग इन तीनों में से कहाँ से आपको मिली?
I think सबका एक अलग-अलग, there was a contribution from each one of them in shaping what I am today.
Yes.
When I was working in the corporate, I had to follow their own deadlines, discipline. एक वो जो अलग perception corporates को होता है, and since I was working in a multinational, I had to respect the geographies, the time zones, and everything. Plus, seniors को handle करना, team building, all these things I got to learn from when I was working in Vedanta.
Okay.
In practice and profession, I think we all know it's a very dynamic field. Every day something or the new is coming up. You have to be on your toes. So that really, kind of gives us a kick in the morning. कि आज नया क्या होने वाला है. So that kind of kick that we get in the morning as a practicing chartered accountant, that really helps us, okay, every day we have to keep on learning something. And of course, that stint at the branch level, last 6 years, and especially the last year, taught me a lot of management lessons. We think that, yeah, branch mein kya kar rahe ho? But when we go there, we see how to manage the events. We see how to organize events for the members and students. There are so many grievances of member students that we have to look into it.
Very true.
And especially when you are taking a team together, handling the team, and all are stalwarts in their own field. So that itself was a challenge. But that was what I think was a biggest learning lessons for me, that last year as a chairman, and plus how you represent yourself as a community to outsiders.
Outside.
Like when we go and meet the government department, we go to meet a lot of apart from the ministers and all, we meet a lot of heads of ROCs and income tax and GST, and how we represent ourselves is very important.
Exactly.
So that art of representing, art of negotiating, all these things, indirectly, very subtle manner, they teach us. So something I think from the branch 6 years, that was what I can take back.
Great. Harit, that like this talk show is specifically for the accountants, right? So what we are trying to do is we are trying to answer or bring these solutions, or just an answer or opinion on certain challenges which normally an accountant would be facing. And if I specifically say, it could be more towards the CA dropouts or a semi-qualified CA, right? So it's great that I have a member of institute with me. So दोनों perspective से मुझे answers मिल सकेंगे या viewers को answers मिल सकेंगे, right? So the first and the very, to start with, articleship is definitely the great way of learning, जहाँ पे हम बहुत कुछ सीखते हैं. But don't you think that the minor stipend is something which should be looked up to, or like what are your views on that part?
Okay, I think
You
you have really raised a question which
very minor stipend, right?
yeah. I think so. You have raised a question which talks about the stipend, but I think I'll just brief about why articleship is important. Because stipend अपने आप बाद में justify हो जाएगा. I think that because normally what happens, it is very well said that articleship is something which clubs your theoretical and practical knowledge.
Yes.
I'll give you an example. Like every morning now, I'm going with my 6-year-old child to teach him swimming.
Yes.
Now suppose if said swimming cannot be learned by just reading a book. If you read a book on swimming, you cannot be an expert in that. You have to enter the water, have to actually do the swimming.
Yes.
So similar is the thing with our as professionals. If you think that हम लोग सिर्फ books पढ़ के classes run करके हम लोग experts हो जाएंगे, तो वो नहीं होता है. Even if we are able to produce it in the exam, we are going to fail it in the real life.
Yes.
So articleship, we have to take it from that perspective, that it's like a swimming, that we actually enter the the work environment in the office, the client places, that really teaches us a lot of things.
Yes.
So as far as the articleship is concerned, one of the biggest advantage that I think which I learned during my articleship was to manage our time. हम लोग जो stipend की बात कर रहे हैं, I think stipend may be very negligible, but this is the biggest lesson that we learn. Even now, I think as professionals, which you will agree, that time management is perhaps the most difficult thing that we have to take care of during our hectic day that we all have. Now imagine a chartered accountant student waking up at 6 in the morning, going to a class, then coming to office, then going to the class again in the evening, then family commitments and different ये वो, और आजकल तो इसे distractions भी हो गए हैं. So imagine उन सब के बीच में they are managing to study, managing to complete the work, meet deadlines. It's a big thing.
It's a big thing.
It's something that articleship teaches you indirectly. You're not consciously learning it, but you are somewhere learning that you all the time is very scarce. So scarcity का जो law होता है ना, that they know how to manage the resource called time. So again, I'll tell you that this is a very very big advantage that CA articles have, कि भी उनको ये होता है. Plus again the work pressures. Now imagine as a chartered accountant we are used to it कि हम लोग को रोज work pressure होता है, deadlines होती है. But अगर हम वही चीज हमारे articles को सिखाते हैं, articles अभी से ही 3 साल में वो used to हो जाते हैं. So they are very much accustomed to facing it in their future life. उनके लिए वो नया नहीं होता है. Yes. So these are a few things apart from the professional and I think nowadays even the CA final papers, if you see, I keep on discussing with my articles, they are all case study based. तो अगर वो articleship नहीं करेंगे तो वो कहीं ना कहीं वो link ही नहीं कर पाएंगे. It will be all theoretical knowledge, then will not be able to apply their mind and bring up something practical answers. So somewhere these are the advantages which I can tell you that articleship brings on the table. Now coming to the stipend, I think when something really molds you as a true professional, I think stipend is a very small thing to be discussed about, because normally what happens वो होता है ना, पुराने जमाने में गुरुकुल में जाते थे and अब गुरु से शिक्षा भी लेते थे और दक्षिणा was a very small, so just a token of respect that was to be given. Similarly, I think articleship को आप उस तरह से देखोगे, it's just a kind of thing that a CA is investing himself, in your learning, in training you. So
Yeah.
take it in that manner कि आपको 3 साल एक training मिल रहा है. After 3 years, I always say that articles are normally CA freshers with 3 years of experience. So you take it in that manner,
In
and
fact,
then you
now
will not
you
see
have,
that.
in fact, आपने जो बोल दिया, that was again my second question. So I completely agree that articleship is very important. And वो जो 3 साल article जो करते हैं, probably as an employee हम लोग भी नहीं करते. Yeah, once we become an employee, we don't do that, right? So definitely articleship में we learn a lot of things. We get exposure to a lot of things. Many times we have seen that articles are actually independently handling all the things. बट
Yes.
अनफॉर्चुनेटली क्या होता है जब वो सीए फ्रेशर बन के बाहर आते हैं या जब वो सीए क्लियर करके बाहर आते हैं, so many of the employers don't look their articleship as their experience. They think that no, you're still a CA fresher. So don't you think this is like probably not a right thing, or it could be a big challenge कि 3 साल में इतना सीखा इतना किया and still you are considered as a fresher. Few, like many of the, I think employers will be looking this as a fresher perspective. So what can be done in that के कहीं पे उनके आर्टिकलशिप के उनके हार्ड वर्क को कहीं पे कहते हैं ना एक्नॉलेजमेंट मिलनी चाहिए. They should be considered not as a, definitely not as a fresher, but they should call themselves that yes, I'm a CA with an experience of 3 years. So what are your views on that?
Yes, very rightly said. What happens कि अभी suppose you are, for example, you're learning and you are doing your articleship for 3 years. After 3 years, when you sit for the campus or if you go for a job, what they understand that you have already done 3 years of articleship. So they will definitely not tell you कि आपने कुछ किया हुआ नहीं है. पर क्या होता है आर्टिकलशिप में कोई लोग होते हैं जो फोकस ओनली जीएसटी पे करते हैं, खाली इनकम टैक्स पे करते हैं. कोई लोग होते हैं जो मल्टीटास्किंग के भी मैंने सब कुछ किया है. They go to a mid-sized firm and they learn everything. So depends upon where you do your articleship. The future employer will then see कि उसको वो कहाँ पे set होता है. For example, if you've done articleship only in indirect taxes, and then you're going in an indirect taxes interview for a firm, let's say Big Four or any other firm, they will definitely pay you more because you have had that experience of doing that GST or the indirect tax work. Okay. But if suppose you doing only GST, you're going for a tax work, income tax work, people will not take you because you don't have experience in that.
Yes.
So again, that linking of what you have learned and where you want to go is very important. And I always keep on telling to all the CS students that it is very important that you should be very clear where you want to go. Just because बैंक तुमको जॉब ऑफर करी तो बैंक में जा रहे हो कि यहाँ मुझे जॉब मिल रहा है तो मैं जा रहा हूँ, वो नहीं होना चाहिए. इफ योर आर्टिकलशिप पीरियड में वही होता है कि यू गेट टू नो योर इंटरेस्ट, कि तुम्हारा जीएसटी में इंटरेस्ट है कि इनकम टैक्स में, तुमको सब कुछ 3 साल में करने को मिलता है. देन बेसिस योर इंटरेस्ट, योर टेक्निकल कॉम्पिटेंसी, देन यू कैन डिसाइड वेयर यू वांट टू गो. So if you have a good sound experience, I think they will. And nowadays, I think package is also very good. If you compare it to what our times were, now I think minimum 6 lakh, 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs is a package that good companies are offering to chartered accountants. But yes, again it depends upon कि आपने कितना कौन से फील्ड में आपने वो स्पेशलाइज किया है. But yes, we get a good packages also. So yes, specialization is very important in that sense.
Okay. And exactly, so like if you have specialized in certain things, then yes, it do matters a lot. But what are your thoughts on the employer, how they should perceive this articleship then?
No, as an employer, I think we always take it in a very positive manner. We don't prefer dummy articles. None of the employers do. We, apart from the thing that we get on the paper in the interviews, there are a lot of things that we ask. Practical questions like income tax में या GST में तुमने practically किया है कि नहीं? And if they have done that work, it can show on their face. They can tell them. If they don't, we can make it out very easily. So it's very important that whatever work you've done in 3 years, try to maximize the exposure. In the sense that try to work in GST, in income tax, in ROC, project finance, RERA. There are so many different avenues. So try to choose a firm where you can get exposure of a lot of things. And in another perspective, like people suppose they are interested only in audit, then you should only focus on audit. Even for the job, you should focus on audit. Then you don't go for a GST or an income tax interviews. So be very clear of what you want to do. But I always advise all the chartered accountant students that choose a firm which gives an opportunity to experience everything, because you are fresher, you don't know where lacking would be. So try to do different things, and then you by the third year you will get to know that what I really like doing it.
Okay, fair enough. Actually, like अब ये तो like the question comes, if I do the articleship, if I clear my exam and if I'm a CA, so then yes, I'm getting a good package of 6 lakh, 10 lakhs, depending on the area where I am going. But unfortunately, we know that the passing percentage is very less, right? So hardly, like, it ranges from, sometime it's 5%, sometime it comes to 10, 15, depending upon the year to year on the paper. So now the specifically, if I talk about the CA dropouts or semi-qualified CA, right? So as I said, passing percentage average 15% पे रह रहा है या उससे भी कम.
उससे भी
So
कम.
in this case, those who have not even cleared a CA examination, those who have done articleship, but still they are not getting that opportunity. They are not getting the good job, or they are not getting a start wherein they can also have a same level where as a CA can go. Right. So probably what do you think? उस area में क्या कर सकते हैं? Because this is a big community. CA community से बड़ी community है dropouts की कि 80% निकल रहे हैं, or maybe they are trying their level best to give an attempt regularly again and again. So in that case, what you would suggest, or how this CA dropouts or semi-qualified CAs should think about their growth or their journey, where they should take a, like, how they can start, where they should approach, what are the different options available for them? क्योंकि जॉब मिल जाती है, बट डेफिनेटली देन दे आर नॉट एबल टू ग्रो. 5 साल में जो ग्रोथ होनी चाहिए, जस्ट बिकॉज दे कुडंट क्लियर द एग्जामिनेशन, राइट? मेहनत तो उन्होंने भी आर्टिकलशिप में उतनी ही की, बट दे कुडंट क्लियर एग्जामिनेशन, सो उनको वो ग्रोथ नहीं मिलती है, एंड दे गेट स्टक एट समवेयर. So what do you think? What could be different options for them, or what would be your advice? Ki, yeah, these are 3-4 different areas where you can try, where even you can get a growth.
I think a very relevant question. As you rightly said that CA सब लोग करते हैं, but सब लोग clear नहीं कर पाते हैं.
Yes.
So those who are unable to clear, CA inter the clear किया है, final नहीं हो पा रहा है. It's I'll tell you right now, there are a lot of CA inters who are getting good placements, and I'll tell you where. Number one is, they get a job in a company जहाँ पे उनको accounts and finance department में उनको CA inters की जरूरत होती है. There are a lot of advertisements right now going around where they can get a good job in a company where accounts and finance, so they should be aware of the basic concept of GST, how tally is used, how the ERPs are used. तो basic चीजें पता होगी तो उनको अच्छी job companies में भी offer होती है. Now, I think right now, as your company as an integrity also doing in as a staffing solutions, outsourcing accounting, that is perhaps a very good thing for all the CA inter dropouts. Because if they get into these kind of companies which provide outsourcing accounting services to, let's say, CPAs based in USA, Canada, or Australia, not only do they earn good, but I think they also have a good career opportunity, because that is something which will help them grow. And as a CA dropout or as a CA inter, I use the word CA inter rather than a dropout. I say those who have, those who are semi-qualified CAs, organizations like yours will really help them to build a career, because they can look into long-term perspective. Plus, I was also reading about your company wherein you also offered them to become a CPA. Some paid courses that you let them do. So these some paid employees. I still remember when I was in Vedanta, these similar things were done to us. Like we were sponsored some certificate courses, some other courses. So we really had that motivation of staying with the company. So these kind of things will really help them in a long run. So that I think outsourcing opportunities are there. I can always say that they can do CFA if they want to do, because CFA is again something which can help them if they are interested in equity research, in investment banking, in portfolio management. Then CFA as a degree can be something which they can look at, doing it, and then maybe getting into some of the field that I just mentioned. Company secretary is also one of them. CW is also one of them. These are all sister institutes. They're having their own forte. Like company secretaries are mainly into secretarial work. So if they are interested in a secretarial work, they can do a CS. They can do CMA if they want to do into costing. There are a few avenues that they can look at. Of course, a lot of CA inters I've also seen have gone into banking sector. They give those bank exams. They also enter into banking sector. Then again, it depends upon your choice. If you really want to go into that sector, then that is again one of the things that are available. A lot of CA inters also do a lot of freelancing. Now, freelancing in the sense that IT returns भरने का होता है, GST भरना होता है, consultancy work, which, because see, again, I'm telling you, articleship helps them a lot. If they have learned how to file ITRs or learn how to file GST, done the practical thing, they can do their own freelancing also, apart from the job that I just mentioned there. But yes, as far as I'm concerned, I think I see a lot of CA inters joining the outsourcing industry. I see a lot of CA inters entering the finance and accounts department of big corporates. These are the two of them good areas that they look at if they don't clear the CA exam.
Okay. And definitely it's not that whatever you should, like, just as an advice, what do you advise, like for how long someone should keep on pursuing for CA examination? Because Yes, it has a lot of, like, I know कि एक CA की degree आती है तो एक अलग confidence आ जाता है, like even if you get that degree after 12 attempts or something, but like it's just your thought, like for how much time you can try on this area, और शायद कहते हैं ना जब तक आप कुछ छोड़ोगे नहीं, you will not be able to look on the bigger picture. So your views or your advice on this, like for how long you can try for clearing your CA exam, and then find a better option and grow up from that.
Yes, I think it all depends upon the individuals. Like if you ask like what is my opinion, I'll always say कि यार finish करने तक रुकना नहीं है. You have to complete it. Yes. Because you know you have chosen a particular degree. It is one of the toughest courses. But look at the respect that you get as a chartered accountant. Look at the you know the standing that you get in society as a CA. You are just one step away from you know clearing that degree. Then why not do it and sincerely maybe for 6 months, 1 year, just give it the time and clear the degree. So if you ask me, I'll always say that no, you should not drop out. Just finish the chartered accountancy course. But yes, if you're thinking कि मुझे बहुत time लग रहा है, मेरे को दूसरी responsibilities भी है, I have to start earning also. Then again, as I said, that you join a company, join a let's say outsourcing company like yours or anywhere they want to join, start earning, but in parallel have that focus कि मुझे CA तो complete करना ही है. Keep on studying and keep on doing it. वो हो ही जाता है. Lot of people lose heart because you know 5, 6, 7 एग्जाम लग जाते हैं, फिर उनको लगता है अब हम CA नहीं होने वाले. That really disheartens them, but I think that effort should be going on, and you should always see at the bigger picture that the CA degree is once in a lifetime you get that. Yes. And we all, I think you also being a chartered accountant, you will agree that we get a different kind of a respect from society also, so that is very important to earn that degree.
Exactly, yes. Definitely, I think probably in this I have just one thought, maybe because we know we have been working with a lot of like semi-qualified CA. So as I said, like our company normally क्या होता है कि एक drop out होता है ना, वो एक like कहता है company like he builds a different company, but in our scenario it's bit different. Like yeah, the owners are CA, but जो हमारी company बनी है, जो 1200-1500 लोगों की company बनी है, वो actually में सब semi qualified CA की बनी हुई है. Right, so wow. So all our leaders, all our managers are in fact either inter CA or a semi qualified CA. Yes, we do give opportunities to CA, but अगर कहते ना हम लोगों का पर्सपेक्टिव ऐसा था that yeah you should try, but after certain period of time maybe there's something much more better. And like if we say about degree or designation, so if someone is deciding to go for an outsourcing industry, then probably I think CPA, EA, or maybe something, so designations like this will help you to grow similarly how a CA is growing, right? So I think today the package of a CPA or a EA is equivalent to a CA what they are getting. So that's what our like this is where at some point we get differ कि हाँ if you are going for this outsourcing industry, if you know कि आपको future वहीं बनाना है, then probably I think that could be the time that you can think of instead of CA let's go for a CPA, because that's again a respectable designation.
But then then you're choosing another professional degree, which will help you,
which will help you in this direction itself. So as I said, like and we have seen many of the team members who are still trying also, but we have seen many of the team members who have decided to leave and go for CPA, and then even CPA तो अब हम लोग sponsor कर रहे हैं. Like from this year we have started sponsoring CPA and EA from the day one of joining, because knowledge is something what you said कि articleship की knowledge जो हमें काम आती है. Similarly, having a knowledge in this industry of US industry or UK or Canada. So that's how we think that knowledge is the base. Absolutely. And if you're choosing for a particular industry, we would suggest that go for that industry and take the knowledge of that industry. So sometime in case of a banking, right, maybe CA के बदले शायद banking के कोई 2-3 अच्छे कोर्स कर दो जहाँ पे आपको उस industry का hold अच्छा मिले. True. Okay. So actually like we were looking कि like कहते हैं ना last time जब हम लोग like मैं search कर रही थी different challenges or like what are the other challenges which an institute is facing or the CA students are facing. The one thing which was very common और जिस पे आपने भी बोला था that you have chosen a drive of RRC. So like many times all the CA or the students of CA, they are not getting the industry exposure, or communication or leadership is not something which is being taken as a core study of a CA. So yeah, technically very sharp, but with a very limited, like technically unlimited knowledge, but with a limited perspective. So what are your views on this?
No, so I think I'll start with an example. I think you would have heard that there are newspaper headlines. There are two MBAs, two IMs, two IITs who have left their job and they built up a multi-million company.
Yes.
कभी हमने सुना है कि there are two chartered accountants who left their job and built up a billion company? No,
Yes.
because we are not risk taking. That attitude of taking risks हमारे पास नहीं है. That is
Yes.
something which we should develop not only as a chartered accountant but even from student days. That
Yes.
we have to think big, we have to take some risk, calculated risk.
Yes.
That attitude change is very much required for students as far as students is concerned.
Yes.
Another biggest challenge that we have is the communication. As I rightly mentioned, कि we are not taught कि भाई हम लोगों को कुछ अपने arguments present करने हैं. You can present your viewpoint. We are so much into our studies that हम लोग वो books कर रहे हैं, हम studies कर रहे हैं, उसमें marks ला रहे हैं. I think that approach we have to now change. Let us be more interactive with people and social, not only our group only.
Yeah.
And let's in society also we should be very vocal. We should be putting our across our points, communicate effectively because not only to your clients but even for हमारे में क्या होता है कि हम लोग इनकम टैक्स जीएसटी पे तो बहुत अच्छा बोल देंगे पर हमको जब बाहर जाके हमको कोई और टॉपिक पे बोलना पड़ता है तो हम लोग को वी कैन नॉट स्पीक. That is something which we should develop and that will happen only at the student level. At student level 3 साल में the more initiatives you take, you join your Vikasa committees, you join different committees. I'm not telling you to do only the cultural part, but there are very important seminars and development workshops which are happening for students. So that is what you can, in those 3 years, you can also evolve and develop yourself.
Okay.
I think another very important thing that we should have, that we should all be a team player. I have seen, let's say an example of an MBA or a person who's done a B school. They know how to manage a good team. They can be a good team players. We somewhere will have to develop that ability of becoming a good team player. We are good leaders, सब लोग leaders होते हैं.
Yes.
But becoming a team player is equally important.
Yes.
That is again something which as a CA student or as a CA professional we should always be taking care of. So there are a few things. I think communication to have, but हम जैसे punctuality है. We even see a lot of CA students, because हमारे भी office में we have a particular timeline कि ये time पे आना है, ये time पे जाना है. But that kind of punctuality should be there, and people respect time.
Yes.
So वो punctuality भी CA students में होनी चाहिए. उनको discipline तो होती है, पर वो punctuality of time, the value of time, that is also very important. So these are the small things that they should take care of.
Yes. So when you were in this, when you were a chairman, so what were your suggestions on this perspective? Like definitely as a branch chairman, you can give certain suggestions at the central level. So what do you think? What institute is planning on this area?
So institute has set up a very good student skill enrichment board since last 2 years. So हम लोग जो BOS देखते थे board of studies, उसके 2 part कर दिए, student skill enrichment board and BOS academics. Okay. So academics deals with our study material, exams and everything. Okay. And the skills enrichment board deals with a lot of skill development of our students. Okay. And we have seen so many activities like essay writing हो गया या debates हो गए, ये सब भी आजकल organize हो रहे हैं students के लिए. Okay. And for that matter, even branches, not only Ahmedabad branch, but other branches are also keeping a lot of these events wherein they're giving exposure to them. Okay. Imagine a moot court, imagine an MUN, a kind of a model United Nations, all these things, an Indian Parliament, all these things happening at a CA branch. Wow. Really gives a lot of confidence to the students. Yes. And usme there's one more thing that we collaborate with, let's say IIMs, we collaborate with different B schools. Okay. So एक अलग exposure मिलता है, एक अलग उनको, yes. They also see how the counterparts are reacting to it. Yeah. So these things are very important. So apart from your studies, apart from your office, I think these 3-4 years are very important where you also develop yourself as a personality. A good personality will really give you a lot of benefits in future. Exactly. And I think one more thing that as a CA students should also keep in mind is to develop a good network. Because what happens when you are as a student, अगर आपका network अच्छा है, आपको नहीं पता कि आपके पास वाला कब कोई company का CFO या CEO बन जाएगा. That networking they should learn right from their CA student thing. I've seen that even our GMCS batch are in touch. Somebody has become AVP somewhere or VP somewhere, but we are still in touch. Yes. So that thing again is something which CA students are missing. उनका खाली एक छोटा circle बना के रखते हैं. I think whenever you go, whichever seminar you go, try and meet different people, try and meet new people, make new friends, yes. Expand your network. That is also equally important. That
very valid point. That ये student के time से ही हमें start करना पड़ेगा. So it's not that once you become a professional and again all of a sudden you will come into a network. Networking will take time.
Yes.
And just what are your views? There was a recent suggestion that Indian Institute of Accounting similar in the line of Indian Institute of Management or IIT. So what are your views on that?
I think it is too early to comment, to be very frank. I think because we are still not having any details on it.
Yeah.
I think I'll always comment only when we have some details on it. So as of now, ICI is doing a wonderful job. I don't know what they're planning as an IIA, what it is to be named. But once we get the details, we'll get to know more about it.
Okay. Thank you. So, Harit, I think this was very much in detail about the like on the technical side or on the talk show or on the challenges or concern which I wanted to talk. Now, I think my audience is also looking very keen to know something more about Harit as a personal, as an individual, right? So, what makes Harit happy? So, I will ask like it would be a small rapid fire round, right? So, some questions and you need to answer. So, what makes Harit happy?
Okay, just one word, or I have to elaborate?
Yeah, you can elaborate. That's okay. But yeah, but a quick answer.
What makes me happy? I think obviously a lot of things. Obviously, dancing is number one. Dancing and maybe playing my favorite sports. Like I love badminton and cricket. So whenever I play them, I do my dance sessions and all. I do swimming. So all these things really make me happy. Spending time with family really makes me happy. That is again something that really I look forward to it. And of course, doing what you call good social work. I do a lot of social work. So these kind of things also makes me happy in that sense.
That's amazing. हर एक को कौन सी एक चीज का रिग्रेट है, मे बी फॉर डूइंग और मे बी फॉर नॉट डूइंग, सो व्हाट इज दैट वन रिग्रेट यू हैव, और मे बी शायद ये करना था या ये नहीं करना चाहिए था मुझे.
नहीं, एक रिग्रेट मुझे रहेगा. आई थिंक मेरे चेयरमैनशिप के टाइम पे मैंने आई थिंक एक बहुत बड़ा इवेंट सोचा था. आई थॉट ऑफ अ बिग बैंकिंग कॉन्क्लेव. एवरीथिंग वाज इन लाइन, एवरीथिंग वाज प्लान्ड, बट बिकॉज ऑफ द थर्ड वेव ऑफ कोविड जनवरी में हो नहीं पाया. आई रियली वांटेड टू डू दैट, बट I have obviously given that suggestion to the current chairman that I hope this year it will happen. But that was something which I really, really wanted. It will happen soon, but
okay. Whether like, is there any dream of yours which is still not fulfilled, or you're still achieving to that, or you're still working towards that area or direction? I know, like now almost like
I think I think we are too small to be saying anything. I think I think especially myself, I'm too small to be that saying that we have achieved something. No, we have not achieved. We are still in the process, and maybe it'll take a few years to build what we really want to do that, and we are working towards it. I think we all strive for professional excellence. I think as a professionals, even we as a practicing professionals, we want to do our best in our field, and be known for that. Being known as a chairman was one thing because it was since last year. But now being known as a professional is also equally important. So contributing to that as a society and as a professional is something which I look forward to.
Okay, that's good. That's great. I think ये point already ही पहले cover कर लिया था, but maybe what are your views? Like, do you actually think that accountant is actually a boring or a non-creative community?
Absolutely not. I'll disagree to it. That is a perception that people have, and I have so many examples where people feel that अगर वो CA है तो वो boring है. So that perception people have, but that is absolutely not correct. We are perhaps very creative people, very innovative people. We are always there on our toes.
करना है इतना creative mind, तभी तो like this is what we show as the creativity.
So I think people feel that accountants are boring or CAs are boring. I think it is absolutely not. I think I have met so many people that they are absolutely lively people, and you see हर field में होता है कि कुछ ठीक है तो होते हैं जो are introvert. That's a very common field, but generalizing as a community is absolutely not correct. We are a very lively people, and CAs are always there for in every place. Now it is not restricted कि खाली professional में ही है. You see film directors are CAs, actors are chartered accountants. They are fitness enthusiasts who are CAs. In every field, chartered accountants are there now. So that way we are really expanding our horizons and our field also, where we can go there. Yes. So CAs are absolutely not boring at all.
Okay. So Harit, what would be your preference? Dancing, badminton, or cricket? So what is the first thing which, like, अगर तीनों में से कुछ एक ही करने का option मिले या एक ही कुछ करना हो, so what would be the first thing?
First thing, obviously, I prefer to dance. That is something which I really love. Then I'll choose badminton and then cricket.
Actually, honestly, when like in the last year, we were seeing a lot of updates, like whatever the events, what institute was doing. one thing which was very unique under your chairmanship was the events were glorified. Right? So I have seen a lot of dancing events for many of the events, and yes, कोई भी वो video देखेगा, they can actually gaze that you are enjoying so much while dancing. So that's what I thought. Let me ask, like, how important dancing is for you. And in fact,
that is there, but I think as you rightly mentioned about glorifying the events, again, I said that, branding is very important. Whatever you do in life, you may be it as a profession or even as an institute, you should always do that branding, because unless we tell what we are doing, people will not know it.
yes.
So, telling people our perspective, telling people what we are doing is very important. And that may be in a glorified manner or in a small manner, but we had to tell them.
Yes.
That is also very important.
Yes. So thank you so much, Harit, for this quick rapid fire round. And I normally end my session with one question. So what is that one advice which you have got, and like maybe the best advice you have got and you have implemented and you can see the change? And what would be the one piece of advice for our viewers? Like probably, as I said, like accountant, semi-qualified accountant, or maybe inter CA or even a CA. So what would be that one piece of advice for our viewers?
Okay, I think I share a small story if that is allowed. I can just
Yes,
tell
yes.
you in a brief what I was really wanted to tell you. When about the lesson that I've learned is, the moral, I'll tell you in beginning. It's obviously very simple that people say never give up.
Yes.
But I'll tell you, there was an incident which happened. When I came back from Mumbai, I
Okay.
was mainly into income tax and GST, and I always wanted to do project finance because I was into treasury and risk management at Vedanta.
Yeah.
So when I came back to Ahmedabad, to believe me, I was felt that Ahmedabad was slow हो रहा है सब कुछ,
Okay.
people things are going very slow because Mumbai was a little professional in that manner.
Yes.
So it took me some time to adjust. And then when I started this project financing work, our firm was not doing that earlier. Then I came and we started that. So it's
Yes.
very difficult to get good clients in the beginning. We got a few of them. Then
Yeah.
I got a very big proposal. I got a very big proposal of 70 crores of financing. And at that time, that proposal was done by a few consultants. It could not happen, and finally came to me. And I
Okay.
was very passionate about it. I basically, I still remember in 2018, 17, 18, it was there.
Okay.
And I gave my entire 1 month only for that proposal.
Wow.
And I'll tell you, even my office staff used to say कि हरित तो और कुछ कर ही नहीं रहा है, सिर्फ ये काम ही कर रहा है.
Exam कर रहे हैं.
Morning till evening, like, because yeah, be it valuation, be it title clearance, be it your projections, CMA, TV, everywhere I was only there because
Yes.
I was so passionate to get it done.
Yes.
And that proposal was, to be very honest, I think when I came to know कि 4-5 जनों से नहीं हो रहा है, जो भी नहीं हुआ है, when my banker prima facie given yes, that yes, we are interested, I was very happy. We finally got consortium lead banker, finally got other bankers in team, and everything was done in it. And I still remember it was in the month of May. What happened, April and May normally banker transfers का season रहता है.
Yes.
So I wanted this proposal to be done as soon as possible. And this was again in the line, just to give a background, that 3rd September 2018 was the last day of the industrial policy. So the machines had to be come before that, had to be operative before that. So we were running on tough deadlines कि अगर हमारा मई में sanction होगा तो ही हमारे machine का order place होगा तो ही वो start होगी.
Yes.
So everything was well planned. Half of March and entire April went into this. In the first week of May, we were about to get the sanction.
Okay.
On 3rd or 4th of May, we had a consortium meeting. Everybody was on the same page. We got an Indian principal approval also. Everything was done. And I still remember 7th May was the day when the sanction letter was supposed to be signed.
Okay.
मैं 6th को शाम को गया था, and when everyone was very excited कि चलो finally हो रहा है, हम इसको कर रहे हैं, ये करके we were very happy. 7th morning, I went to meet the general manager, and on his table he showed me a letter, and that was his transfer letter. Now on 7th morning, he get to show me a letter कि यार मेरा आज ही सुबह letter आया transfer का, and I am supposed to report at Chennai, and I am getting transferred. So my first reaction was कि सर आप ये sign करके जाओगे ना? बोला now I cannot because 7th का date है, I cannot sign back letter, I cannot do that. So I was like ठीक है, what next? Then he said that अब मेरे बाद जो आएगा उसको 20 से 25 दिन लगेंगे, और जो आएगा वो DGM आएगा, उसका power 20 crore का ही है. So you cannot be a lead banker now. So my entire 1.5 month का मेहनत went for a toss. And then when we decided to go to Chennai, हम head office जाके करेंगे, तो वो बोला कि आपको time लग जाएगा because we had the deadline of 3rd September, so we could not meet it, and that project got shelved. That I was so heartbroken. I came back to office, but my dad told me a very simple thing. Never give up, as he normally say. But he told me कि यार आपने किया है, मेहनत किया है, तो कहीं ना कहीं उसका use होगा.
Yes.
But when we are down and out, we don't think that way. We think यार ये गलत ही होना था, ये हुआ, मैंने time waste किया, ये क्या, we blame a lot of things.
Yes.
And I was full of negativity. And he really told me, no, you should be positive. Let us see that you at least learn something out of it. Then it will help you in the future. He was very positive on that aspect.
Yes.
Gradually, it was in somewhere in 2018. In 2020, post-COVID, you will not believe I got a similar proposal of a higher value, and everything was same. So in that proposal, I had to not work anything. My entire project report was ready. Everything was done and dusted. So it was in 5 days my project was submitted and got sanctioned and went through. So I was so happy that मैंने कुछ जो काम पहले किया था वो waste नहीं जाता, कहीं ना कहीं आता ही है काम. So again, as CA students, I think when we say never give up, I think it is actually true. We should stay. We should, if you have a good vision, you should always be staying positive, and you should never give up in your life. That is one thing that I really learned, and I learned it a hard way. But I think I'll tell you that all the students should learn it. That yes, you should never give up. Whatever it is, we can do everything. I think as a chartered accountants, I can say as chartered accountant students that nothing is impossible for us. Yes. We can definitely do a lot of things.
Okay. So I think yes, never give up is something जो हम लोग बचपन से सुनते आ रहे हैं, बट बहुत कम होता है जब एक्चुअली में हम वो अप्लाई कर पाते हैं या हमने एक्चुअली अप्लाई कर दिया होता है. So yes, never give up, one of the best advice for everyone. Yes. So thank you so much, Harit. I hope you had a good time. I hope the viewers who would be watching this video, whenever it is released, they will enjoy watching about this. They will learn a lot of things from this. They will understand the different perspective, different option careers for all of them. So not only for one area. There are, as you said, you have given list of areas where everyone can divert themselves. So thank you so much for your insightful information. Thank you, Harit. And I hope you also had a good time with us.
Thank you so much, Ina. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, I had a great time, and I hope yes. Thank you so much, Ina, for this opportunity. I had a great time, and wishing all of the viewers all the very best for the professional life.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Harit.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe our channel, like, share, and comment. And stay tuned for our next episode, which is going to come out soon. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.